taken to the tower where the wizard resided, and he introduced himself as Bellum. He is an evocation wizard, or in other words, destruction mage. And after showing the party inside, they sort of teleported into this what looked like this vast open area with a huge tower in the distance. Essentially, he had set up some sort of teleportation into this wilderness area that belonged entirely to him. And after some discussion, he agreed to work on what he could as far as enchantments and magical items and projects go, assuming he has the right materials and time, etc. And that's where the motivation for some of this adventure came about. But also,
did anyone ask him to freeze my cart?
No.
Damn it.
You can have, because you weren't here, if you want, I can say that before you all left, you could have done that because I extended the same thing to someone else. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I guarantee you your shit's going to be like, oh, hey, go find me this, which is like easy. And it's like, hey, no, but your thing that's actually not as overpowered as some of the other things that other people are getting. No, you go find me a goddamn dragon scale.
Yeah, so you got to go kill the ice elemental lord. And
yeah, sure, but let's just go with... all I want is the cart to be able to hold meat for longer.
Yeah, well...
That's the joke, man. I just want to do a 1d8 of extra damage. He's like, nah, dragon scale, boy.
Yeah, boys, damage too much. You said you'd want to do a 1d80, right? But...
1d80? No, what?
He could relatively... He tells you that he could relatively easily do that because the elements are within his domain.
Oh.
Which part of your cart exactly? Is it on the cart? Is it on the container?
It's on like the interior, so basically the back of the area where we would store everything would act like a freezer.
Interior crocodile alligator.
Yeah, exactly. So he tells you that if you could try and source one, you could speed the process up. But in order to do this, he's going to have to essentially create a crystal out of magical frost, which will act as a focus. In other words, almost like a battery. And after he does that, then he would need to enchant the cart. And so...
Don't we have a sorcerer or a wizard
to make that?
The general cost for these items at this level were something like generally hovering around 400 or 500 gold.
Oh my god!
And
wow!
I actually have that.
There was a day before you all left after you talked to him.
So you find an ice rock, or pay him 500 gold.
You either find... Either way it goes, I have to find a dragon scale. So that's what Taz is doing.
I mean, he still needs to enchant the cart. And what he's saying is that it would speed up the process greatly if you could source one of those. Or make one yourself.
Definitely can't make one.
Yeah, we don't have anyone who can cast Cone of Cold.
Or do we have casters at all?
Soren, and Soren's a bard, so not really.
I'm a caster.
Oh.
Do you know ice magic?
So not really.
What magic do I hold in my hand?
I don't know. What magic do you hold in your hand?
I am an element casting sorcerer, but I do not have any frost spells. I have frostbite. And I can make a chromatic orb of cold.
You can make a chromatic orb.
Son of a bitch,
Would
I'm
a
so
chromatic
angry.
orb count, or is that too volatile?
Wait, chromatic orb will count because it was still, you could choose to make it cold.
Yeah, I would say basically if you would be willing to actually stay there for a while, at least a couple hours, and help the wizard out in his casting, yeah, you could speed up the process. But you wouldn't be able to completely make it on your own. That requires pretty high level stuff to be able to condense it and keep it stable. It would be an Arcana check actually to see what exactly you could pull off. So. If you want to roll Arcana and see if you could figure out what you could do with those spells, and that works.
He's talking to you. Who's he talking to?
I'm talking to you, Mr. Darius.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
not
you're the
paying
caster.
fucking attention.
Dumbass.
Oh yeah, that's right. You changed your character again.
Yeah, well, look at his nice roll.
Changed it again?
I thought he was talking to the person that was trying to create these thingamabobs.
No, you all are putting your heads together, so it's basically going to count as assistance on these. He's going to make a roll of his own, but let's see. He's got a pretty okay Arcana, and gets a 28 to assistance. So, you all do pretty well, and it takes you a few hours of helping out, but you're able to speed up the process, and he's fairly certain that he can get the actual enchantment done within a day or two's time. He pretty much explains to you, Fang, that the longer he takes on this, the more likely it's going to be that it lasts longer. But if you are willing to feed it, if you will, in some way, as in some of this magic may begin to kind of wear out, and so unless you're willing to have, for example, it would just be something as simple as Darius doing again what he just did, except just using some sort of icy magic on this crystal, then it would take some extra time to try, and it would take actually extra ingredients and components to make it completely permanent and completely flawless. But if you were willing to essentially recharge this crystal like a battery with icy magic, then he could just probably get it done with several hundred gold in the day's time, thanks to Darius's help.
Would you be willing to do that, person I don't know?
Are you asking?
I have nothing better to do.
Yeah, all right. How much do I owe the wizard?
He tells you 400 gold will suffice.
I pay the man 400 gold.
All right, now the next question. Since the party traveled by ship, what would you like to do with your card? I forgot to mention that after this, they sailed to Baldur's Gate, where there's now a festival happening later in the day.
I will leave it with the wizard, because I assume I didn't know that we were going to end up here.
Yeah, it was... I don't think necessarily... The party didn't intend completely to travel by ship.
So it was left with the wizard so he could enchant it. Moving on.
Okay, so It takes you all about 3 or 4 days to get to the city of Baldur's Gate. But once you do, Soren talks to some people that he knows, and he's able to get you essentially some bed and breakfast, or by that, some space to put out some bedrolls in an old storage room at this brewery. Who informed you that the reason that their stores are so empty right now is because of the upcoming Brewfest in Baldur's Gate. Later that next day, you all stay the night there, and after visiting a library to inquire after Mr. Everick Vrilius, a wizard from Waterdeep who fled south, you're told by the woman that appears to be his daughter that he was out gathering magical ingredients, that he, along with all the other wizards, are being welcomed openly by the city of Baldur's Gate as a sort of partially as simply a gesture of goodwill, and partially as a gesture of defiance against the royalty. And they'll be gathered together for sort of a ceremony the next day at the festival. So you all wake up earlier that morning, and you're woken up by the sounds of workers coming to and from different rooms and offices. They're loading up carts and things, and one of them kind of kicks you awake as he needs to get behind you to move some of the last crates and kegs out.
Taz is currently helping them because he's using his strength training, just lift him, doing workouts with him.
Give me an athletics, see how well you...
I can't. Can you do it for me? I'm kind of not. I'm still driving.
Okay. Oh, just remember what it is, dude. Roll it in your head. Okay, you get to 29 on athletics.
Jesus Christ.
So you get kind of shaken awake, and you look over, and there's Taz, and he doesn't have it under his arms. He's just kind of, you know how a waiter will kind of have his wrist bent back, and he just has a flat palm, and he's holding the platter. He's doing that, but with barrels, and he's just carrying them to and from carts.
Fucking one stacked on another, just no.
They offered him a bow tie. They offered him a bow tie after he offered help.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the bow tie. I
All right, so Taz is wearing this essentially dress shirt, but the sleeves are ripped off, and he has a bow tie on. He's carrying this.
Oh man, I know you don't watch wrestling, but there was an old group called Right to Censor. They wore, like, one of the dudes had cut, like you said, had cut off sleeves and a dress shirt with a tie. I'm like, what the hell?
All right, Fang, did you at all? There would have been conversation more than likely. Did you at all give any hint, or is there anything outwardly about your appearance or anything like that would suggest your cooking prowess? Did you keep your utensils out openly, anything like that?
That's actually a good question. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, we can just say that my backpack has a frying pan on the end of it.
Okay. This older-looking gentleman, he kind of looks like what you'd expect, a typical sailor, in fact. He comes up to you and asks about that frying pan and inquires as to whether you can fry up some fish or not.
Mm-hmm.
See, that killed my my headcanon of a Fang now, because I felt like Fang was like Taz, where it's just he's got cooking utensils just strapped to him.
Yes.
Any preference in how having it cooked?
He tells you, as for him, in general, nothing too special. Just pepper the usual things as long as you can get it out quick. But he informs you that the reason he asked you is because there's a guest of honor coming by today, and they happen to like it a certain way. Have you ever eaten lemon pepper fish?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, he informs you. Yeah, he informs you that essentially the equivalent in this case, actual lemons, etc. Not the bottled lemon pepper stuff that we have, but lemons and different kind of almost sour, citrusy, fruity flavors like that need to be added to this dish. And he gives you some more specifications, and he informs you that it's actually an elven wizard who's come to visit from far north, even farther north than Neverwinter. And he kind of leans in and mentions that he happens to have quite a nasty temper, and so it tends to ruin his mood if his meal is bad. But on the other hand, if the meal is to his liking, he tends to be very generous, and so that's why he's trying to essentially make the best dish and have it in the name of this brewery, so that they happen to be them and the cook happen to be the ones that receive his
blessing,
patronage.
Can I assist Fang? Help him where he needs help.
You will be my sous chef.
Sure. Yeah. There you go.
He puts a hat on Taz.
Challenge
Taz
accepted.
So Taz is now has no
get
sleeve.
Cooking. I tie my bandana across my head. If anyone's seen Food Wars,
I will shoot you in the
Yes.
fucking face.
Yes. Hell yes.
I will have this
agree with
wizard
this.
explode with ecstasy.
I was gonna say, like, Taz is sitting there helping him with a freaking chef hat, no sleeves on a dress shirt with a bow tie.
Okay. What? So cooking utensils. What attribute ability?
So this is pretty much flying at light speed. You're going back and forth, dicing things up. You have hardly any time, but you need to be very careful. So I'm going to say it's dexterity.
Gotcha.
Am I giving him advantage?
Yeah, you are.
Hells yeah.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if I can. We'll go with that 17 there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa,
It's okay,
geez.
because this is actually, you're going to do this a couple more times. Because you, my friend, are preparing a 3-course meal for this.
Oh, God.
Wizard.
Shokugeki no Fang.
So give 2 more rolls with advantage.
Ah,
It's Shokugeki no Fang. I now see him Fang's backstory.
Oh,
the
that
reason
sucks.
Oh wow.
this is disgusting.
I just now see that in Fang's backstory, the reason he's on this journey is because some girl said she didn't like his eggs, and he's like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna become such a better cook." Oh, thank you. My food's delicious.
All right, one more.
I will stab you. I will stab you right now.
That's actually not his backstory, but there are elements of it.
Yes.
Surprisingly.
Oh my god. I will stab you. Or
Doing it one at a time because I'm nervous.
Jesus, Fang, get it together. I could cook better than this.
You're the reason I'm doing this good.
True.
All right.
Not bad. That's a 38.
You get off to a pretty good start. And then you start to slip. You leave something in too long as you're baking it, and you go to recover, but you just can't quite manage it. You're really struggling, and in fact, at one point, you go to get something open at the end, and you're about to burn your dish, and you just see Taz essentially rip the whole door of the oven off, and he apologizes to the.
Can I
the
roll a
rest of the
dexterity,
cooks,
see if
but
I
he
can fix
says-
that 8?
Sure, you can roll your own cooking there. In this case, you don't have the proficiency with utensils, so yeah, just straight dex. And
Dex,
the
not
other cooks honestly don't seem to mind that much because they're worried on the dish, and you manage to recover to an extent, but you're having some problems with your.
There you go, boy.
You're having some problems with your presentation. It seems to be cooked all right, but you just can't quite put it together.
That's a 19.
And about this time, you see
Was
Darius
that the
over
practice
here.
round?
Yeah, exactly. At this time, you see Darius over here. He's killing it, just cracking jokes as this is happening live. He's got that Gordon Ramsay going on, He gets a 27 on his performance.
And the fish is fucking raw!
Taz,
The squid is so undercooked, it's still telling SpongeBob to fuck off.
you can't quite fix the presentation, and Taz comes over, brings a fist down as if he's about to shatter this plate, and just as you almost shriek, and everybody around stops and freezes, you almost shriek in horror as it's about to be ruined. As he brings this massive arm down, he stops about an inch above the fish and just nudges it to the right and says, "There, it looks better now." And
Does it actually look better now?
It does, and you have a pretty fancy looking dish now. You're confident that it's to spec, but you're not quite sure about this guy or his taste, so you'll just have to wait. And about that time, you see a little halfling run up, and he just you kind of see a hint of a scale peeking out from under his little apron, and lo and behold, he just kind of puffs fire out above it and starts puffing smoke and steam, and he picks it up and begins to run off with it, keeping it heated all the way.
I pat Fang on the shoulder and go, if it goes wrong, we fight our way out of here.
It started off so well, too.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah, about this time you look over and you see Darius holding up a frying pan with a scallop stuck to it. But you wipe your forehead off. Your bandana is drenched, but it was stressful, but definitely not your worst work.
It's always a challenge to work in a different kitchen.
Indeed, and you all are treated to some of their finest brew. It's a dark ale, mineral ale.
Mineral ale?
Mm-hmm.
You call this a fucking brew? I can basically tell the fucking rocks are in it.
Yeah, it's a dwarven type, in fact. Very earthy.
Hey, calm that down.
Hey. I need to go get something to drink, because my mouth is dry as fuck.
Adds to the RP. And the older gentleman, the one who asked you about cooking, comes up and gives you a pat on the back and asks if you happen to be looking for work.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm
Depends.
currently...
Are you paying?
What was that?
Depends. Are you paying?
Depends. Do I have to go through a series of fights with other chefs to prove who's better at cooking?
He says yes, quite frankly. And then he turns to Darius.
I'm sorry,
and
what?
Fang
Did my character just get a plot line?
and says, "You would get steady wages. Not a glamorous life, but this isn't the last time we'll hold a competition. You see, there are a couple other places that think that they can outdo us."
Wait, this is seriously happening?
In fact, we have suspicions that it's the Crown's Gold funding one of these places.
So I have to beat the rich, snobby chef with all his high-class ingredients with these pork loins and this slab of meat.
Yes.
It's about
The
sums it
person you
up.
thought was an asshole turns out to be your best friend.
Why does this become Food Wars?
Because you made the joke and now it's a thing.
Yeah, watch what you joke about.
Well,
Because you clearly forgot who Kenji was.
Yeah, you forgot I'm eternally middle school humor, so.
very true.
Plus, it pisses off Toki, so it's amazing.
Well, as long
No,
as it
it
doesn't,
because he's going to be running Hell's Kitchen.
as long as it doesn't interfere with my contract with cooking for this party, which I would be happy to oblige.
Oh, how do you feel about traveling?
Well, I'm not opposed to it. I forgot Fang's accent.
Says, tell you what, depending on how it goes today with that wizard, and don't put too much stock into what he says. Sometimes he has a bad attitude. We'll get in
Still
contact.
getting over that freaking Ratatouille with the mouse.
Yes.
How can a mouse make food this good? I'm pissed off about it.
But depending on how it goes, if we need your help, we'll get in contact with you, and maybe you'll even get a stipend.
Finally, some good fucking food.
I beg your pardon? Everything Fang's cooked for you has been in the 20s.
Oh, no, I meant that's what the
Bullshit.
dude's
The
gonna
first
say.
meal that Fang cooked was trash.
I forget what it was. I think
It was
eggs.
breakfast at fucking Ty's house.
It's like
That's
hash
true.
browns or something. You got like a 5.
I don't remember that, but okay.
You
There's
ended up
a new
remaking them, but
I don't remember my rejected work. I only remember what is good.
Yeah, plus I was saying that's what the elf guy's gonna say. Finally, some
Turkey,
good
you
fucking
keep getting
food.
on my back. I'm gonna get some octopus and start dipping it in teriyaki sauce and chewing it.
Okay, go ahead and do it. You're the only one that's losing in that aspect.
That was another Food Wars reference, fucker.
Yeah, I know. I've actually watched the entirety of the anime,
As have I.
and I'm waiting for fucking fourth course to come out, but I don't think it ever is.
well, they inform you all that there's not too much time left before things get started. If you want to show up early, you could maybe find a nice, comfortable spot there, but otherwise, you're gonna have to wade through crowds of people. It's happening pretty much right in the square.
I forget what our purpose is here.
But right now, it's watching an old fuck eat some fish.
And then finding
Wizards.
another old funk and asking him about wizards.
Why are we asking old fucks about wizards?
Well, we want him. Well, it's Virilus, the wizard. And ask him if he has a dragon scale, so I don't have to
I
go
don't
kill a
think
dragon for a dragon
he
scale.
was actually here for that. That's why he's asking.
Yeah.
We're here because you fuckers hijacked a boat.
We didn't hijack.
I
a
did
boat.
not. I did not do anything. Taz was nowhere in this conversation. And it had nothing to do with this.
We
Mainly
have
because
not
I signed
hijacked
out.
any boat.
All I know is something was stolen, something was burned, and Taz was like, "What the hell are these guys doing?"
Well, do you all sit out, or are you going to wait for people to actually gather?
I thought we were waiting on the old elf dude to eat the food.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be there. And he's like a public critic. There's going to be a table presented where these other restaurants and breweries and bed and breakfast and stuff are going to have their meals, and he's going to publicly taste them. It's basically a televised cook-off,
Oh,
minus the
shit.
televised part.
Fang, you're screwed.
Oh, I know I am. I fucked up bad at the end.
Escort the bus to safety. Ho, 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 ho.
My only saving grace is those appetizers are gonna be killer.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do,
Okay, so what are y'all doing?
do,
I'm gonna watch the fucking critic. What do you think I'm doing?
do.
Yeah,
I will head to the square or wherever the fuck this place is taking
Yeah, that's
place.
what I was wanting. I needed to know if you all were going.
Oh
out
yeah,
or
we're
not,
going
'cause-
to wherever this thing is.
Okay, so you begin to head that way, and you're already, even though it's early, you're already seeing people coming out of their houses. You see shops closing down because people are moving their wares out. You're moving toward the market. and you pass the market where all these signs and there's plenty of hustle and bustle. And you start moving to a more open area, and you see the reason it's more open is
No, you don't tell him it is all good. You tell him he's a bitch.
Damn.
it's actually being guarded, and they're only letting workers through for now, it seems, so that people aren't walking around and messing things up while the stalls are still being set up.
Yeah,
And you
because
see raised on a pedestal this long table, looks like something you'd see in a longhouse or a king's dining hall. And it's got this red tablecloth covering it. And you see just scores of chefs sitting down, setting their food down and drinks. They're plating things. They're working on presentation. You see some of them sprinkling, adding
Son
extra
of a bitch,
season.
was I
People
called
trying to,
just to be a gimmick?
people trying to
I mean,
heat it up
that is
still.
your life, yes.
And you see one open spot, and in front of it, there's a little white card that's folded in half, and it says the name of the brewery on it. And you see that halfling from earlier, he's right in front of you, and he begins to place it down there, and he waves you over. He, in fact, waves you over as well, Taz and Darius.
Oh. Why Darius? Darius didn't do anything.
Darius is moral support.
Oh. It's the worst moral support ever.
He's like, yeah, it's trash. You're playing loose.
I mean, I could cast a spell and make it taste like ass.
Make
That's
everybody
not
else's
support.
taste horrible.
Oh, dude, you joke. I was gonna say, like, let there be. That's now it's like, and the first place prize is a dragon scale. Well, I guess it's sabotage time.
First place prize is a dragon scale. Let me just shift my alignment a little bit right here.
Hey, man, this is the whole reason I play neutral characters.
All right, so he calls you all over and sets it down, and give me a perception. I'll say Fang and Taz because you were the ones working on it. Give me a perception roll as he
Oh, boy.
removes the cover.
No. It's a negative. And double no.
Okay, you what are your passive perceptions?
11.
10.
Okay, so you all look really hard, and you can't really see anything wrong with it. As far as you can tell, the presentation is about as good as it's going to get. You don't really see anywhere where you could make small improvements, anything like that. And so instead, you are content with leaving it how it is and making sure it stays fresh. And it doesn't take long. Some time passes, and the square gets opened up. And people start to flood in along with one nice, illustrious carriage. It pulls up slowly, and out of it steps with long silver hair what appears to be a young elvish man dressed in
Ooh.
star-covered robes.
So lucky my sleight of hand is so low.
He has sort of a smug face on. He's got his chin uplifted a little bit. And surprisingly, he actually has a bluish tint to him. He looks the table over a couple of times and lets out this condescending before moving toward the seat in front of it. As he approaches, you get a better look at his icy blue skin, and he, in fact, turns to look directly at you, Fang. He looks between you and Taz and says, "You must be the butlers, yes?"
No, sir, I am the chef.
Really, I didn't know. I didn't know you all knew how to cook. And he says this pretty matter of fact. He's not. In fact, it doesn't seem like he's trying to be particularly mean or smug. He just kind of says this normally, as a matter of fact. And he gestures around and says, "Well, then again, I don't think most people know how to cook, even my kind." And he lets out this annoying, smug chuckle and kind of leans his elbow on the arm of the chair and rests his chin on his fist. He says, "And which one is yours?"
This one, sir, and I gesture to the tray. I assume I'm standing in front of it.
Yeah, you're pretty much standing right in front of it. It's like a little silver platter. Well, a big silver platter with two smaller ones in front of it. He says, "Standard fare. I suppose no one here thought it appropriate to try something other than fish, but we'll see if it does."
We should have did ribs. We should have did lamb sauce. Well, if you're looking for Taz to say anything about this situation, Jazz is just staring past this guy. He does not care.
A while passes, and it almost seems like he's gonna fall asleep, but he finally opens his eyes as his name is called a couple of times, and some strange elvish name you can hardly make out, and eventually he sits up a bit straighter and so begins the long and painstaking process of watching him move through. It takes forever, sometimes as long as 10 or 15 minutes for one dish, while all the while the chefs are blabbering on and on, complimenting him like sycophants and trying to build up the reputation of their dish, trying to influence his thoughts on it as he tastes it. And most of the time, he in fact spits it out or even literally throws it aside.
While he's tasting other dishes, how visible are we to people?
Kind of depends. So behind you, probably 15 feet out, there's a thronging crowd of people, and you all are pretty close. There's only like 2 or 3 people between you and the end of the table, and there's probably at least 10 between you and the wizard. So if someone was looking for you, they can see you pretty clearly, but you're in a line of people.
I am not skilled enough to pull this off. I won't try.
What were you trying to do?
I was gonna try to sneak some spices on that 8 dish to try to bump it up.
Oh.
Like something.
Well, that was technically what I was rolling the 19 for, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
yeah,
try
I
and give
forgot you
it
did
like an
that.
extra thing, you could try and sleight of hand it.
I got a 2 in sleight of hand.
I've got a 3, so, you know.
You can always use assistance since you're both right there. But
Yeah, I just kind of stand.
Can I pass him the spice or ingredient I think would help, and he can do it, or help him?
yeah, you can basically, you all can decide between yourselves who you want to actually roll, and the other one can grant
I can
assistance.
give you assistance because your extra one's gonna mean more than me.
I mean, I can try. Oh, 19.
Okay, so you try to look normal, Fang, as you pass him the spices, and before you're kind of rolling something around in your hand, and before you know it, you look down and realize the spices are already back in your hand, and you just tuck them away in your apron or whatever it is that you're wearing. And it seems to kind of, one of the things it did is it really added a lot of color to your dish, and you notice now that sprinkling some of this red spicing on it really made it seem.
Oh no!
fresh,
Did you put the fire salt on it?
I put what you handed me on it, man.
And you realize that what you handed him it does complement the dish, but it is in fact a very hot pepper.
Oh no! I gave you the fire salt.
No, you didn't, because the fire salt would make it bland.
Yeah, the fire salt is like
because you weren't here for it, but the guy had to say, I remember this taste. Fire salt is so hot, it overpowers everything, so it's used. And he just threw the rest of the trash. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was like the part from SpongeBob. I remember when they invented chocolate. I hated it.
Sweet chocolate. I always hated it.
Basically. And eventually, after another 20 or 30 minutes, he comes to you, and he doesn't even look at your food. He kind of eyes it, or eyes you rather, and he looks between you and Taz.
I flex
looks between you and Taz a couple times. Then he looks down the dish, then up, and he finally lifts up the fish, and you can hear his stomach rumble a bit, but in a kind of grotesque way. He's eaten so much now, and he just sneers at it and tosses it aside. He looks at whatever there is for dessert and sees no interest in that other. He pushes it aside and says, someone else can have this. However, he looks at your appetizer, the one that you started so well on, and he thinks for a moment, and he says, I hardly have the appetite to finish even one more full meal, and certainly don't feel like moving down the line, so it seems you're in luck. I'll try these. And about that time, you see on the bottom side of the fish that he had overturned, it seems that someone had placed some spices that were not supposed to be there, and you certainly didn't.
Oh!
And
someone
he begins
sabotaged
to reach for
my
the
fish.
appetizer.
Oh, I know. Oh, I should have done that. I see now. That was my plan originally, but like my sleight of hand's way too low for that.
And you kind of see in the background one of the faces at the end of the line. They have a sneer on their face as the fish is overturned, but he takes a bite and he says, Well, food eaten is better than food you don't even have the room to taste. So, you three, and he points to the people between you and the end of the table. Better luck next time. And he calls them off, and they're all dejected and angry. Their food didn't even get tried. And he points to you and your group, Fang, and then he points to the people you saw laughing and jeering and sneering whenever the fish was overturned, and he says, as for these two groups, you all will, you'll have your own competition. Everyone else, clear the table.
Oh shit,
After a few moments,
we're cooking live?
Oh shit.
You see some utensils brought out, and your dishes are scooted close to the middle of the table, and you realize now this. You kind of see him sneak something in his pocket, and you realize you're pretty confident this is the guy that tried to sabotage your dish. And he's got a royal crown on his apron, and he seems very confident at first, but then this wizard says something that you didn't expect. In fact, he does something. He reaches out and grabs both your platters, switches them, and says, "Now, let's see what you all can do with each other's work."
Ooh! So we have to do something to improve the other person's dish, and he fucked mine over.
Yeah, so all that you have now is you essentially have what amounts to what's left of the dessert that they made, and they have more or less what amounts to the
fish that we
appetizer
added
that you
spices to, and they fucked with.
Well, the appetizer, you're not sure if they added anything to that or not.
Oh, okay. So they were given my appetizer, and I was given
you
their
were
dessert.
given their dessert because everything else was thrown away. And he says, "You have 5 minutes," and reclines.
What
in the
kind of
chair.
dessert is it?
Yeah.
It's you look at it, and upon closer inspection, it seems to be utilizing some of the flavors of the season. It's some sort of pumpkin pastry.
Are we allowed to sample it to tell what's in it?
He didn't even describe any rules, so he doesn't even seem to be paying attention to the competition. He's got his eyes closed. All he says is, "See what you can do with each other's work."
I'll take a small piece.
Yeah, we'll take like a small part to tell like what to just kind of just dissect it to understand like how it tastes, what might be in it.
Would that be survival?
Texture, anything that we could inadvertently fuck up with. Do we have to roll to figure that out?
I would say it would be
taste?
Perception, actually. Yeah, it would be perception. Yeah, you're trying to perceive it with your senses. So.
We have to what?
Do a perception.
It's a perception.
Oh.
I was trying to get a survival because we did trying to dissect what flavors are in it.
Is it one person gets advantage or we both make a roll?
Oh, if you're specifically trying to, I thought you were just trying to see generally how good it is. If you're trying to dissect certain flavors, for then I'd say that I would consider spices and things as part of your utensils. So I would say you could actually roll your cook's utensils for that, because I imagine you're comparing it against different flavors and spices that you have in your pack.
Ooh, do I get advantage because he's helping me?
Yeah, if he wants to assist you, then all he has to really do is declare it and have a reason for why and how he's assisting you. So in this case, he's pretty much playing the same role that he's been playing since the beginning of this morning.
All right, what attribute?
Wisdom for perception. So
22.
Oh, so you can immediately tell there's a particular patch that you know of, and it's not far, actually. It's just north, not far from where the Wood Elves are. It's just north. And you know that this place is special because it's completely tended to by druids of a certain particular circle, and you've only had the chance to cook with these pumpkins once before, and you know their flavor. It stuck out all these years from even a single taste. And this is essentially the best you can get in terms of ingredients. He's combined this with a bit of cinnamon, and oddly enough, he has tempered the sweetness. He also added some sugar, it seems, with...
He tempered the sweetness and added sugar.
He added sugar, but in order to temper the sweetness...
Oh, the natural sweetness. Gotcha.
Right, he added some butter.
Welcome to Food Wars, Toki.
All right, he added some butter, and it appears to you that upon closer inspection, because it does not match up at all, he actually fried this and appears to have used some sort of illusion to conceal it as being baked.
Motherfucker, you can add magic to food?
He appears to have disguised it with an illusion.
So, effectively, it's a fried pie thing.
Yeah.
Darius.
Fried pumpkin pie, essentially.
Darius, do you have Dispel Magic?
I don't know if he's here. Toki?
No, I don't have Dispel Magic.
You're like useless to me right now. All right. Can I look at the other two of them and figure out which one's the looks more like a mage?
Give me a perception.
Fuck. No. Help me out here, man.
Wow,
Give me that
Christmas.
21.
You can't really tell.
So I asked Fang, what do we do?
All right.
I was gonna take the fire sauce, drop it down his pants, and make him drop that illusion, but not with that nat one.
Jesus Christ. All right. So it's fried, so we have to be very careful. There's not much we can do with it when it's fried. It'll just affect the outside rather than the true flavor of the dish. I will. This is me just bullshitting. It's like I'm taking all of my knowledge I can, and wait, it's a pumpkin dish. He added cinnamon and sugar.
And actually, can you give me a perception, Fang? I should have made you roll this earlier for whenever he was tasting things, because this is a retroactive perception. Okay, so you can't quite tell, but he seemed to be. You're not sure if it was a presentation, if it was the actual form of the food, maybe the platter, but he seemed to be almost 50-50, maybe even 60-40 split on the way the food looked as opposed to the way it tasted.
What do you mean?
So he liked the way it tasted better than the way it looked.
The other way around.
Oh, he liked the way it looked
better
better.
than it tasted. Gotcha.
So he seems to he seems to be a form over function type person. And a lot of people tried to make really crazy shapes and dishes, but
So he doesn't care what it tastes like as long as it looks good.
No, he doesn't.
he definitely
looks
care
like
what
it.
it tastes like. But it
As long as
seems
it
to
tastes
be,
good.
yeah, he basically seems to care the same or possibly even slightly more about how it looks, but he certainly cares about how it tastes as well.
Okay, so I have no idea if this is even possible, but I have an idea.
Doesn't touching it dispel the illusion?
Not unless it's like an element of like the tray or I don't know. I don't know the magic. We don't know what level of spell it is. So here's my crazy idea. I don't think it's possible, but I'm gonna run it by you. Can I turn this pumpkin pie into effectively a kind of like
Funnel
ice
cake?
cream-esque thing? Like put it into an ice cream dish, mix it with ice cream, and have it. You know what I mean? Like make it pseudo ice cream. Is that possible?
You can certainly ask the others at the brewery, the Halfling especially.
I'm going to confer with my group on that.
We got 5 minutes.
Because he's
So-
already tasted it as a fried custard. I'm wondering if adding the sweet taste of like ice cream would be enough of a shock.
The Halfling explains to you that he offers an idea of making a mixture of hot and cold after the fact, but on top of that, to actually find the ice cream, he tells you that you only have a couple minutes left, but there is a nearby dairy place, and he could run and try and get the right ingredients. But you would have to prepare things for him when he gets back, because you may only have a matter of seconds when he returns.
So, and we can't tell how fried it is, can we?
From what you can taste, you can pretty much tell it's basically the equivalent of being deep fried.
Oh, snap.
Toki, does your character have haste?
I was just about to ask. Toki, you're a part of this. Stop acting like you're not.
He does.
His character does?
Hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna ask him to cast haste on the guy and freaking go. And I'll start preparing the dish to be ready, to get everything ready for him. when he shows up.
And I'll help him.
Okay, Toki. I don't know if he's AFK or not.
He may have fallen asleep because he realizes we're in a
Probably.
bake-off.
So yeah, it's just fake.
I'm
Nope.
just sitting here. What are you talking about?
We were
Just
asking if your
haste.
character has haste, and apparently you do. We need you to cast it on this halfling so he can get to the ice cream dairy shop so he can make this pumpkin pie into a dessert.
Okay, I cast haste.
Okay, this halfling speeds off, and because of that, you get about an extra minute, and he returns carrying all this stuff in his arms, and he just slings it onto the table. Much
Alright,
messier
get to
than
work.
the other team. Begin to make your rolls. I'm going to say make 3 again.
Okay, what attributes?
Wait.
Wisdom
Would it
to
be
start.
Dexter
Wisdom
and
to
then
start.
with
Yes.
advantage?
Natural 20.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then it'll be dexterity.
Natural Vendejo.
18.
And one more time with dexterity.
Oh my god. $17.
Oof. That's
And
amazing.
you're hurrying, throwing utensils back and forth, ingredients. And just as you smooth the ice cream over the top, you hear, "Stop!" and jam your knife into the table. And the wizard stands, and you look over and see that the other team has actually layered and turned your appetizer into part of a pasta dish, which quite literally has the name of the wizard spelled with garnish around it. And he seems very impressed with that at first. He tries that before you all's dish. But you get the sense that it's very similar to what he's already tried. And he comes over to yours and he looks taken aback and he says, "What is this?"
I actually don't know what this would be called. I'm trying to think of a name.
Pumpkin pie a la mode. Is
This
it a la
is
mode?
your-
Make fucking ice cream.
Same
Yeah, but
dish?
we didn't just put ice cream on top of the pumpkin pie.
Oh. We didn't?
No, we can't. Like that was my goal. We took the pumpkin pie. We basically broke it apart and mixed with ice cream and stuff, and then he said he layered it. I don't know what he was going for that, but that's fine.
No,
No,
I
he
was
said
talking about
the
the
other
other
guys.
dish.
Oh,
Yeah.
the other guys.
They layered it into pasta, so it became a pasta dish.
Wait, so they took my appetizer and just put it on top of pasta?
No,
They
they
made a pasta
it was
dish
a
out of it.
particular. Yeah, they made a pasta dish with other things and then garnished it in a certain way. That was form over function.
Gotcha.
But he says, "Well, I suppose if you
Sweet
cheated,
and-
then you cheated."
Sorry, I just came up with a name.
Oh, go ahead. Oh yeah, go ahead. What is your name of your dish?
Damn it, I forgot.
Sweet.
I was so
and
excited. I was gonna play on the. Oh, it was along the lines of. God damn it!
Inky Palapoop. No, no one's gonna get that reference, but it's amazing.
I'm always horrible under pressure.
Clearly.
It was
He's gonna fingerang you to pieces.
sorry. It's a sweet pumpkin surprise. Sure, let's just go with that. That's the best I can come up with right now.
He laughs and says it's. He continues to laugh, and between his laughs, he says, "You'd make a fine grandmother someday." And
I
the
laugh.
laughing stops as soon as he takes a bite. And he seems once again taken aback, and he turns his head. And he kind of lets out this snort through his nose and says, hmm. He gets this almost wolfish grin on his face, and with this smug look, he turns his chin up and points this spoon at the other team and says, "Oh, it seems all your king's gold may buy you ingredients, but certainly not creativity. This may be a crude dish, but it does have soul.
It's soul food!
You," and he points to Taz, he says, "Dispose of the other dish, will you?"
Okay.
Is he referring to my competition's dish?
Mm-hmm. He is.
As walks over and just start punching it to pieces.
Oh, come on. It's still food.
Hey, oh well, fucking. I look at him, dispose of it. How? He said dispose of it. Oh, fine. Taz picks it up, tosses it in the air, just like opens his mouth, like unhinges his jaw, and just boom, it's gone.
Like a great white shark.
Exactly. Just hits the table so it pops up and just.
The wizard laughs. He says dinner and a show. Then he grabs the dessert and falls, sweet pumpkin surprise, falls back into his chair, has the table pulled up, and he kicks his legs up and crosses one foot over the other. And he says, "Well, congratulations. What are your names again?"
Fangs, the chef.
Fang. Well, you don't bite people too often, do you?
They were not creative when I was born.
Tell me, neither were my parents. Holoferin Elwinus. Pleased to meet you. And he
I know what I should have done instead.
He ignores
I'm sorry,
you.
could you type that out?
I will. He ignores you for the moment, Taz, and says,
No, I was gonna say, can I change what I did to the dish?
"Oh, sure."
Oh, I have such a better plan. I take the fire salts from Fang and just dump them on the dish and go and look at the other two and go eat.
Oh, well, I'm going to assume that's the last of my fire salt.
Oh, it's only an 11. Do I get advantage? Do I get
Just
advantage?
dumped
Maybe that's
fire salt on
You
it.
don't have to, because one puffs his chest out and says, "We will. Our dish is so good that nothing could ruin it."
Oh, they don't know what it
And-
is.
And he goes to take a bite, and it goes just fine, actually. And he laughs and turns, and you spot the back of his ears begin to turn red. And you see the shorter person, the one who appeared to be assisting them, kind of grabs him by the shoulders, and the taller one begins to cough, and he starts pulled him, and he stumbles and falls down the steps and begins to drag him off, and he turns back at the last moment and gives you the nastiest look possible.
I flex at him.
as
I just
he
flex
just
at him.
sneers and gets pulled off in another coughing fit.
Smell the empty vial and go, oh snap. Oof, might be
Then-
too much.
Oh, you
Then he
emptied the
turned-
vial? That's all I
I
had,
didn't
man.
empty it all the way. I dumped a good amount on it though.
Then he
As I
turns
said,
to you,
that's like
Taz, and
wow.
asks for your name. He says you. He says you are lovable brute. Taz Teal'c. Not so different from the naming conventions of my own people. Well, we moon elves are haughty for a reason.
Moon elves. Okay, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a thing. He just
They're
said it.
considered a
Duh.
subsection of high elves.
Gotcha.
With his legs, with a mouthful of food, it's kind of unbecoming of him, really. And with his legs still kicked up, he says, tell me. And he swallows the piece of pumpkin pie and says, "What is it exactly you were looking for in doing this?"
I'm confused.
what was our guy? I guess what was our
Oh,
goal for entering?
I can tell you're confused. Otherwise, you would have given a better answer. Well, I'm asking why you would do this competition. You quite frankly just fed me food that I mostly didn't care for when no one here knows me. Or at least most don't, I imagine.
I was asked by the owner of the... I forget the name of
It's
the place.
called the, I don't think I ever gave a name. It's called the
Brewery?
Broken Boar Brewery.
By the Broken Boar Brewery, if I would enter in their behalf.
And so you did it out of courtesy?
It was a good waste
Well,
of time.
that and I'm always trying to expand my culinary knowledge. I would never have thought to fry pumpkin pie, that's for sure.
Well, you would think they would be a bit more careful with their illusions, but it seems not everyone is gifted in magic to the same level as myself. Well, I suppose in that case you seem to be a sterling individual, in fact, both of you, so if you don't mind, I'll donate the proceeds to some fine charity. And he flashes his grin as he says this.
Taz shrugs. I just need a... It has nothing to do with me. No, we need to get... I do need to
Sure,
see
some
someone about a damn dragon scale.
starving orphan child out there will show they'll love to be granted any one wish, but
Going to bed with a full stomach is better than a wish any day. In my opinion.
I suppose you're correct. Well, then, if you really wish nothing, then I suppose no reason for me to tarry.
Do you have a dragon scale?
He raises his brow and says, "What, you don't?"
Not at the moment, no.
He laughs and says, "You don't know any dragons, do you?"
If I did, this would be easier.
Well, if it's only a scale you wish, then that's easily accomplished, but I think I might offer you something a bit better.
I cock an eyebrow.
Here's a whole dragon. What?
You've satisfied the appetite of one wizard, but
Oh no.
tell me,
I know where this is
have you ever
going.
have you ever thought to cook something, a culinary treasure so fine that it might be added to a dragon's hoard?
Well, that is... I'm not sure how... That'd be very complicated. They tend to keep their stuff for a very long time. I'm not sure I could make something that would last for a century.
Oh, it only needs to linger in their memory.
I would be happy to rise to the challenge, though.
He
Freaking what the
smiles and
hell is this
says,
session turned into?
In that
I don't
case,
know, but it's amazing.
do keep your eyes and ears open. Until next time. And he flips you a copper piece. Or sorry, a silver piece, rather.
I look at the silver face and go, what the fuck? He just kind of gets this look on the face like, what?
He
be
winks
fair.
and moves toward the carriage. And you look up to see him move, and if you look down, you realize you are now in possession in your hand of a silver dragon scale.
Oh!
Dude's a badass. I like this character. He might be snobby, but he's amazing.
As long as those proceeds went to setting up a food kitchen, I don't care.
You do see him, in fact. He gets handed a chest, and he just shrugs and pushes it back to the person that offers it to him and gets in his carriage.
Well, no, I definitely need to see Verilius today. V for Vendetta.
Woohoo! I'm the winner of the random ass cooking competition. Was there a title
Now
for
you-
this?
Hold on, Rave, Mark,
Yeah.
Fang. I need you to make an athletics check.
DM, do you allow this?
What are you doing?
He said I have to make an athletics check.
I don't know.
11.
It's a 29. Freaking manliest handshake in the world.
What?
Then I was going for the Armstrong and the other dude.
Oh
from
yeah.
Fullmetal Alchemist handshake. Just
Oh,
And
got
you
it.
do
Gotcha.
that, and
I
you lower
understand
your
what you're doing
hand, and you see there the little halfling with the scales. He reaches up, and he can't quite reach your arms. He's trying to jump and grab them.
now. He's trying to grab my arm.
He's trying to grab both your arms.
I look to him.
He whispers and says, "Come on, for the ceremony."
There's a ceremony?
Well, I'm making one now. Come on.
all right.
I freaking grab Taz, like, best buddy, arm around the neck, kind of like, come on.
And
Taz
he,
is still wearing a chef's hat for whatever reason.
if you allow him, he raises both your hands and says, "Everyone, show your appreciation for the new culinary lords of winter."
Culinary Lords of Winter.
And
I'm
he
writing that
points to
down. That is my new
the
title.
ice cream dish that you've created, and everyone begins to cheer and shout. You see what looks like one very one very large man.
What the hell?
He almost faints, in fact, and he's cheering. Looks like some sort of noble. I think that's him
He is
falling
knocked
asleep.
out. He is knocked out.
And yeah, you rose petals begin to come in and everything. So, you're all victorious in the cooking contest.
Sounds like death.
Yeah, he does.
He's just snoring into his mic.
Uh-huh.
That's a yarn.
Yeah.
But now it's
So I'm
bit
going
past-
to assume the owner of the brewery might now present potential payment, since we basically just won under his name.
oh he offers you something different actually.
Oh, lovely.
He hands you beautifully crafted out of, it almost seems like the leather from some otherworldly creature, this bag, and inside you find, made out of strange metals you've never seen before, very fine, elaborate cooking tools, and I'm gonna say these are, my friends, some +2 cooking utensils.
Oh, snap.
Okay, how the hell would I... Okay, so I add +2 to my cooking mods.
Mm-hmm.
Boy's gonna be SpongeBob up in this motherfucker.
And below
This
that,
is just to make sure that worked.
yep, there you go. And below that, a simple small pouch with 200 gold pieces inside.
Woohoo! Fang, I give you half.
Huh?
You giving yourself half?
Fuck. Taz, sorry. Mind fuck. Taz, because you're such a great sous chef, I'm giving you half.
How much was it?
You're getting 100 gold.
Oh. Yay.
You also got your quest items, so this is
Oh
a
yeah.
good day
No,
for you.
no. Yeah, he's not even paying attention to the goal. He's like, I've got it. And now I'm one step closer to my goal.
You be by my
And-
side to make more delicious foods, my friend. And I reach out my arm, trying to do the Schwarzenegger.
You ugly mother. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it.
Everybody cheers when you do so, and you're presented 2 medals on ribbons.
Yay!
And with that, it begins to roll past midday or noon. And as the crowd grows, you see more of these robed men lining up. You do see the same elven wizard from before, Mr. Halifrin, but also many wizards that you don't recognize. And they all begin to congregate around a couple of round tables.
Do we see Verilius? Verilius?
You're not quite sure what he looks like, but
Okay.
and nobody's really watching or anything. They just kind of seem to be sitting there on their own.
I'll walk over to him if anyone else is going to, unless someone wants to join me. They're just sitting there on their own. Is anything happening, or are they just sitting there?
No, they're just kind of sitting there, maybe getting a bite to eat, but they're just talking and congregating.
I guess.
Yeah, I'll go over.
I guess we can walk over as a group because we're looking for a wizard, right?
Yeah, we're looking for Verilius.
There's no harm in asking.
He said that now then we all get blasted by magic missile at one time.
Yep.
I'll go
So you go
Toki,
up.
we're actually doing quest stuff. The cooking's over.
Are you going up
No,
and just asking the first person, or?
We can what do you think, Taz? Should we just gesture to the whole group, or
Yeah, I just think we asked the whole group instead of just asking one person.
Okay, what are you asking?
And you find any gentleman knows Verilius? Verilius, whatever the fuck his name is. I have bad
Um,
times with names.
This younger fellow, he's a human. He doesn't seem to be much past his early 20s. He seems to be an apprentice of an older man sitting next to him. He smiles and says, "Oh, of course, Master Vilius. He's a close friend of my mentor. He's right over there." And he points, and you see a pointy purple head on top of covered in long white hair, and the person's back is turned to you, but he's laughing and shaking his fist and pretty loudly talking with a few other older wizards over at the table across from you.
And that's supposed to be, and that's Verilius. He's pointing at that guy saying that's Verilius.
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Enjoy your meals.
Says, "Of course." And right as you say that, you see a platter just levitate over and fall onto the table.
Yeah, so I go over to Verilius. Beryl Strauss sent us, right? No, it wasn't Beryl Strauss. It was the old man.
Yeah,
What was his
Bellum.
name? Bellum. Told us about him.
And as you get closer, you hear him say, "You're coming up on the end of a joke and punchline." And you walk closer, and he says, "And that, my friends, is why you never try and give milk to a displacer beast." And everyone roars in laughter. And he kind of wipes a tear from his eye and begins to tell another story right as you arrive behind them.
Excuse me. Are you Master?
Verilius.
What is his name?
Everick Vilius, I'll write it.
Everic Varelius? Am I reading that right?
Mm-hmm.
Master Varelius?
You see him turn around. You see a friendly old face.
Look at this wizard.
And he pushes up these old wooden frame spectacles and with this big smile on his face says, "Oh, yes, that's me. How can I help you?"
Oh,
Okay, it's all on you
God.
guys now.
And again, the man's name was Bellum.
Yeah, Belim, Bellum.
Bellum sent us to you so you can help us.
He squints like a full-on Clint Eastwood squint and pulls his glasses down and he leans in and he says, "Bellum, eh?"
Yeah, weird guy. Makes you go on quest for stuff.
He begins to form this frown on his face and he says, "And what is he doing these days?"
Hiding in Waterdeep. Kind of keeping to himself.
All of a sudden, he breaks out in this huge smile, showing teeth, and says, "Ha! That sounds like him. Stubborn old fool won't come down here with the rest of us. Well, he can keep his tower. We'll just have to communicate in other ways." And he leans back in his chair and turns it around so he can better face you and says, "And what was it that you needed from him? Or from me, rather, for him?"
It was enchanting, wasn't it? That was originally for the bit, wasn't it?
I was not
Everic
here,
Release
so I
is
don't
known
know.
as Everic Release is known as a master enchanter. So
I was hoping I could have something enchanted.
oh well, that shouldn't be any trouble. What are you trying to get done?
Shit, now I need to go buy bracers. Can I say that I just bought bracers?
Yeah, you did buy bracers before you left. Anyway, you did it last session.
Okay. I need these bracers enchanted to do what was it? The magic one's called it chromatic orb to do random elemental damage.
Oh, trivial.
How much would it cost to have something like this done?
Oh. Well, let's see. Depends on the materials, and he
What
begins
of
to
the silver
think.
dragon scale?
He starts stroking his beard, and when he sees that, his eyes sparkle, and he says, "Ah, I'll tell you what. It'll cost you something, but not in gold. It's a favor, you see."
All these wizards asking for favors.
And he scoots over and gestures to the table and says, "If you and your friends here will sit and tell us of the news from up north, that's all I'll ask of you, so long as you allow me to use this scale."
DM, I actually have a question. Not to break up the narrative, I'm sorry. I just thought of this. Could he use this fire salts to make my great sword a magic weapon?
You would have to ask. Generally, in terms of turning something into a magic weapon, as in it does magic damage, that's not very difficult to do at all. If you're trying to look for a specific effect, then it becomes more difficult.
I just want it to be like just does fire. I want it to count as a magic weapon, so it doesn't get negated damage.
Those probably alone wouldn't be enough to cause fire damage, but for it to count as a magic weapon, if you could get someone that's proficient enough, then it shouldn't be too difficult.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to waste his time.
Do I have a magic weapon? No, I have a silver weapon. I have the flame tongue dagger.
Scimitar, actually.
Scimitar, yeah.
Scimitar, yeah.
It's in his hands. It's a dagger. Taz holds out the scimitar, the flame tongue scimitar, and goes, "Could you transfer this to his great sword?"
Oh, well, you have a creative mind. Hmm. Tell me, how long do you plan to stay in the city?
Currently, we don't know how to leave.
A
That's-
while.
Hmm.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
You know the old library.
Where his daughter was, or his granddaughter, or his fucking assistant,
Mm-hmm.
the one we went to. Yes.
Yes, my daughter takes care of it. If my
We've met her.
granddaughter. Oh,
She's very nice.
yes. Well, perhaps visit me there some later date. Before the week is over, I'll have done this favor for you all. But please, for now, sit.
I assume
Tell
he's
me
gonna
what-
take my sword.
Yeah, he'll need that.
I'll hand him the bracers and the dragon scale, and then to ready for what questions he needs to ask, or to tell him about the news up north, about the assholes and the cloaks and whatnot.
Are you giving him the sword yet, Fang? Or are you gonna wait?
I'll put it on the table with the rest of the stuff. I have other
Okay.
weapons in case I need them.
He kind of snaps a finger and levitates them to the side and places them neatly on a cloth. Says, so, it must not have been easy to come down here. It certainly wasn't for us. But
Is it easy for us to come down here?
I sense that those... Well, to actually get there on a ship, it wasn't that bad. But he seems to be in your whole journey from the beginning. He seems... He says, I sense that behind your faces lies a few tales.
Depends on what you want to know. I was asking about if he what he wants to know.
Yeah, I lagged for a moment there. That's what that was. But
Oh,
he says, well, firstly, I'm sure you know the situation with the northern cities. Has it grown worse? And he kind of gestures to in the act of magic of actually levitating the items away, and he seems to be implying the actual use of magic.
didn't Barrels Jones tell us that the crown was essentially using those people in cloaks to hunt people down or whatever, or find something?
He told you that they're basically training units of mage hunters right now.
It's gotten worse.
Apparently, they're training mage hunters.
Bah. Well, doesn't worry the old timers like us, but our apprentices, the younger ones, that's worrying. Fortunately, this city and its inhabitants have welcomed us here, and I believe they're trustworthy people. Were you harassed at all by these royal troops?
Yep.
Killed a few.
They ruined my meal. As
They
I
have
think
no
back to
manners.
that bar fight.
Weren't they the ones we encountered? Or was that just random cultists when we met?
I think those
Man.
were cultists. We're describing the people.
Yeah,
in the
there seem to
cloaks.
be two factions. They may be intertwined in some way, but they're two separate factions.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, who's got the fire fuck attached to their soul? I forgot about
Soren.
that.
Soren.
Gotcha.
And she has a name that I can't remember.
Wait, no, I think I wrote it down.
La 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 la.
Shall I?
Shalaya.
Shalala,
She's a
fu-
nice
fire
lady.
elemental.
And she's a nice
La la
lady.
la 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 la. He's trying to get some fire element land.
I'm not. She's just been like
Oh,
from what happened. She was pretty nice because that could have gone so bad.
Right, so Toki, your Thai character is gone, right? What's your new character's name?
Darius.
Tyrius?
His name was Darius.
Darius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, just updating my notes. Sorry.
He says, and Waterdeep, has it become dangerous there yet?
When is Waterdeep not dangerous?
No more to. It wasn't that dangerous to mages, wasn't.
Not openly. You saw people skulking around, but that was about it.
But were they skulking around for mages, or they just skulk around like normal Waterdeep people skulk?
They were Inquisition.
It's starting to get a little bit bad over there.
As I expected. Nice. As I expected, if anyone can defend themselves, it's Bellum. I imagine he could level the entire city if he really wanted to, but still I have to
Seems
confess
crazy
I
enough.
worry for him. He smiles when you say that. Says, but let's not linger on the gloomy things. And he offers to continue talking, and if you accept, you all spend a couple hours passing time with conversation, and he acquaints you with some of the other wizards and informs you that a lot of them came from from what used to be the Wizards Guild in Neverwinter, the one that was destroyed in the siege.
It's
The siege of my dick.
Taz gives them a solemn nod as to say it's sorry for the loss and everything. Bullshit, that's what that was.
He's like, sorry, bro. I remember your crazy fire rooms.
Seems the new king is doing some very odd things. I'll get Taz to go ahead and tell him how their names were his, Soren, and Lawrence's names were on the
Before then, but perhaps you all might head just a bit west of here. I've been told there's a bit of competition and some entertainment.
Okay, what did I miss? I missed something there.
He's asking us to go west for competition and entertainment? Does he mean like
Yeah,
get
he
us from
say-
the table?
He means like up a little bit west of where you all are in the town, yeah.
So down the street.
Yeah,
so
pretty
you're
much.
saying a fight.
Down home,
Something
down the
like that.
street, Piggly Wiggly.
It's another cooking contest. This time Darius has to
Yes.
compete.
And if you all head that way, you hear some shouting in the distance. And strangely, as you get closer, you spot a familiar face.
Is it Diane?
A familiar
And,
face.
well, familiar to some of you at least. And Taz, you particularly notice this.
Come on, character art.
Place. The man that you assisted in the tavern is there, peddling his magical wares once again.
Hey! He's back. Random item man, yes. I
Random who?
it's the guy who gave us random items that are weird. Like mine is apparently allows me to kind of translate
Infernal.
infernal. Soren and I think Soren has one and Lawrence has
does.
one.
Yeah. He seems
Taz
to
goes
have
in.
pretty much the same setup.
I go ahead and walk up to him.
He greets you and says, "Hello there, Oh, you're no stranger. Oh, my friend Taz. It's good to see you alive and well. Tell me, did you ever
Good to see you.
crack the code?"
Yes. Not in the way I thought I would. Decided to translate some things for me.
Yes, well, I assure you, he means you no harm.
Then I see no reason to not keep him around.
Yes, he can be helpful. Well, have you come for more, you and your friends?
It worked out for me
Hello.
last time. Why not? Oh, right. This is Fang.
He doesn't give you a name,
Chef.
but he greets you and says, "Ah, chef. Well,
Yes, me and Taz just won the competition.
oh, I heard the culinary lords of winter, they've proclaimed you.
Yep.
An illustrious title. Well,
Hey,
perhaps...
you just mad 'cause you don't have a title, Darius.
Well, perhaps you deserve a prize then, please, if you will. And he reaches into
Is
this
he giving
little
us free
tray,
stuff?
and he holds out 3 little red objects, and they're really weird. They're segmented a bunch, and you look closely, and they are D100s.
I'm
And
sorry.
He holds one out for each of you and says, "Please, if you would like to play a game, simply toss it into the air."
I want candy.
Sure.
Taz just talk jazz, no hesitation, just goes ahead and tosses
All
one.
right, roll a D100 if you're tossing one. You can only toss one, but
I toss all 3.
You can't.
I know, I'm just saying. It's a 30.
47. Wow, all within spitting distance.
Literally.
I spit on your distance.
I spit in your general direction. I fart in your general direction.
I fought in your general direction.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries.
We are the nice that go me.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. I'm done. I'm done.
I don't think he's mad. I think he's just looking stuff up because he wasn't expecting us all to roll at the same time.
Yeah, that was our fault.
And watch as the world warps into reality.
I get it. I get a
big
freaking
loot table.
I get a freaking like a little small thing of mahogany. Seriously,
Watch me
but
get
not
a
just any
sword.
mahogany.
Watch that be my luck.
I was gonna
Mahogany
ask who's
waved
the
like
asshole
crazy.
with the bow, but I'm the only asshole
Okay.
in this party
That
with
was-
a bow.
wiped out. Anyway, let's see. Let's start with you, Taz.
Who's the
He
asshole
says-
with the bow? Oh, that's me.
So as you toss these up in the air, they pop like little miniature fireworks, and you see a number explode into the air, and what looks basically like fairy fire, and then it dissipates into smoke. And he smiles at you, Taz, and says, "Oh, these should look good on you." He reaches into a bag and pulls out a pair of spectacles, not much different from what Everett was wearing, and hands it over and says, "I'm sure this will make you look even smarter than you already are."
He blinks at him and
Did you
puts
just give
him
him
on.
glasses of intelligence?
I don't know. He'll have to find out.
Yeah, I go ahead and put
I
him on.
highly doubt that.
He kind of laughs when he sees your number, Fang, and says, "I hope they won't hold this against you. I heard you made very good work of their cousin." And he pulls out stone fish mask
What?
and hands it over. Says, yes, it said that you tried fish as well for the contest, but I'm sure they won't hold it against you. Here, please take it.
A stone fish mask. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, it's a JoJo mask. Don't put it on.
kinda looks-
Zawaldo!
Yeah, that's what it is. He looks at you, Ty, and he said, or Darius, rather, my bad. And he says, now I think this is fitting. And he pulls out, with a little loop on the end, so that it might be hooked on a chain, a key. And he says, may you never lock yourself out again, and hands it over to you.
Wow.
He said what?
He says, may you never lock yourself out again, and he hands this key over to you. Just looks like a regular iron key.
Put it in the nearest door.
Yay! Skeleton
And,
key.
I'm going to say that all you can roll Arcana immediately, and then after that, you're going to basically have to identify it over a rest.
Great. Once again, Taz has to roll Arcana.
Fang got
His
a 14.
least favorite skill. No. Can I take Fang's roll? Can I take Fang's roll instead?
Okay, so you two aren't too sure. You would have to look at your respective items, but Fang, your lungs seem to, they almost feel bigger when you put this mask on. And you realize that this mask allows you to hold your breath for twice as long.
Nice.
Really? That's it? I
And-
just get the ability to hold my breath longer?
These
Hey,
are
man,
slightly
what do you
magical
think?
trinkets.
So they're wondrous items. Got it.
Yep. It doesn't seem to require attunement or anything. It's just that whenever someone puts this on, their lung capacity is doubled in terms of.
Gotcha.
I look at Darius and go. It's kind of like shove it, turn him away from the magic guy and go, hey, what do these do? What do these do?
What are you
Show the
asking?
glass. I'm asking Darius what the glasses do, but I'm doing it in a shady way so the guy doesn't see me asking him, so kind of turn him away from him.
Hmm.
Well, I would love to tell you what they do, but you know what? I don't have Identify.
Yeah, I want you to use an Arcana on mine because I rolled a 5.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow it.
Now pretend to think I can know what yours do. Oh, well, shit, never mind.
I'm still not sure.
I lick them. Now, do I know what they do?
You just look at my glasses.
Yes, you taste the glasses, you become the glasses. And
I gotta date the marble. I gotta be the marble.
you turn away and you go to put the glasses on to see how they look, but you kind of don't want other people to see because you want to make sure they don't look terrible first. And you notice that alley doesn't seem as dark.
Oh,
And these glasses grant 10 feet of dark vision to whoever wears them.
that's actually pretty cool. You gonna tell me what they do, or
They grant 10 feet of dark vision.
that's interesting. I take the glasses off his face. Thanks.
Mhm.
And
Which I really wouldn't have noticed that because I have 120 feet of dark vision.
yeah, you could taste the dark vision. It's okay.
I snatch whatever. Oh, I take whatever. What Darius got, and I look at it with my again 1 in Arcana. I'll try to identify his thing for him as a thanks.
Okay.
No,
Not
Damn
sure
it,
about
Taz.
it, Chief.
I will attempt to identify.
The
Here, Fang,
the-
lick this.
the magic man just kind of laughs as y'all are trying. And he says, "Well, it's all part of the game. Perhaps ask your
Here.
hatted friends."
Oh, right. We do know wizards. Jesus. We're stupid.
This is a lovely gift. Thank you.
It's good seeing you again.
Of
All right,
course.
I bite the edge of the key. What's it taste like?
It tastes like you can use it to unlock any lock that you lock.
I know
Only that you
lock.
lock.
That's actually pretty cool still. That way, if you had to get rid of the keys, they can't open it or some whatever. Does it work? We got to stress test this. Got to figure out if it works on arcane locks.
It only works on locks that I lock.
Yeah,
Yep.
an arcane lock is a lock that you lock.
Yes, but if I don't lock it, it doesn't work on that door.
Yeah, but if you lock it, and then so that way you don't have a key, you get rid of the key because they don't know you have the key for it. You can unlock it.
But I would still have the key for it.
Shut up. It's a wondrous item. Take it and be great.
I can think of uses for it.
So this guy just
Yeah,
gives
like locking the enemy out of their own
items.
place.
Yep. Not sure what his name is or what his story is, but Taz knows from what he mentioned last time that it seems like he goes from place to place and peddles these strange magic items as a way to just spread some joy and some interest in stories. He's sort of like a magical Santa Claus.
Know what this key tastes like? It tastes like whimsical.
This key tastes like a cursed item.
He bites the key all of a sudden just like goes force to his teeth and he can't open his mouth anymore.
All righty then.
So we're going west. We heard about some.
You all
Are
continue.
you sure it
on.
wasn't just this guy?
What is it?
Well, he said entertain. He said like what? Entertainment and something else.
And a bit of competition.
Yeah, a bit of competition.
And you keep moving past, and you see something interesting. You see a bunch of benches.
They want me to lift.
A bunch of benches?
You see
It's a lifting competition.
3 pieces of sofa lying on the platform. Can't remember the name of the benches right now. So bleachers. And you see in the middle a sandy pit
Oh, it's a fight pit.
full of the toughest, biggest monsters and men that you've ever seen, all lifting heavy objects. And in fact,
Oh, it's a weightlifting
you see
contest.
one strange, someone who has the air of a foreigner about him. Seems to be an elf of some sort. Mr. Taz, I believe you're about to meet your counterpart. As in the middle of plenty of other, you even see some half orcs. Someone that looks like it might be another bugbear, and you even see a minotaur. Spud, unknown to you, Mr. Aaron Balor, in front of a wait.
Who?
Taz just stares at him, goes, So he responded. Taz goes down into the wait thing, goes to one right next to him. Doesn't say a word to him.
A look is exchanged, and that's it. And eventually you see a couple of people approach the platform, and they sit down on the sofa, and they say, "Let the games of strength begin, starting with And about this time, some things get to begin to be moved in, and you actually see a wizard up there on the platform, and he seems to be holding some of these objects down with his hands, using magic, of course. He says, starting with the ball of pain. And you see this giant, almost basically looks like a giant bowling ball with a handle on it, and it's being held down magically. He says, the rules are simple. Let any one at a time elect himself to attempt this. And should he lift it over his head with only one arm, he will be declared the winner of this particular challenge, and a point will be attributed to him, but let no one lift more than one time, and should you begin to struggle too much, you will be disqualified from this round. Now, any who will?
Taz saddles on up.
Yeah, this is your show, buddy.
You can come in if you want to. You got rage.
I got, yeah, I have rage, and I have a +3. Why the fuck not? I'll come in.
Yeah, man. So Taz grabs it and just starts hucking it. Would Powerful Build work for this?
What are you trying
To pick this thing up?
I have to look at Powerful Build again.
Yeah, it says you count as one size larger when you determine your carrying capacity and the weight you can push, drag, or lift.
Yeah, I'll say that's advantage on athletics.
All right. And it's only 16.
You can't quite do it. You're not struggling really bad, and so you're not disqualified, but you can't quite do it. And it seems like everyone who fails and doesn't fail bad enough that they get disqualified, they step aside to take a breather for a moment while the next person comes up and attempts it. And so if you give way, you see the Minotaur approach.
Let the Minotaur go. How's the Minotaur do? What's the Minotaur doing?
And he grins these huge teeth and says, "Ah, weak, all of you." And he just, without an effort, aka natural 20, lifts it over his head with one hand and slams it down. And the person on the platform arises and claps, and people begin to cheer. And he says, to the Burly Bull, 1 point. Now, let's not be so hasty as to disqualify the rest of these poor folks. Come, all of you. See who else can lift this.
I walk up to the ball.
Okay.
Put my hand on it, and I begin to rage.
Okay.
Which gives me advantage on my athletic checks.
It does?
I believe so.
Yes. Rage gives you advantage on athletics checks. Any strength checks, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
7 or 20. There we go.
You think you're not going to do it. You think your arm's going to give way, but you let out this one shout as your face begins to turn red, and you manage to lift it over your head. You got just enough to do it. And then you let it go and drop it back onto the stand, and you get directed to stand next to the Minotaur. 1 point awarded to you.
I'll give it a go.
Oh, God.
Before you, the other bugbear comes up and attempts it, but he can't quite do it, and he just lets it fall and moves to the loser's corner. Darius?
Okay. I give my fingers a little bit of a snap.
You see the Minotaur veins begin to pop, and he says, "What? Cheating wizard!" And the person on the platform, he says, Wait. Is this... Oh. Well. I suppose it wasn't in the rules. We won't allow it next time, but this time let's not punish this show of ingenuity, and you're able to lift it. And shortly as you drop it, it returns to a regular size, and you're directed to stand next. Taz, you're up again.
Oh my god. You motherfucker.
I'm up again. Oh yeah,
you're up
yeah.
again.
So, Taz is up again. All right, Taz will go ahead and give it another shot. It's a 30.
You give the Minotaur a look, and he gives you a look at the same time. You make eye contact, and you both grin big as you lift it over your head, sling it into the air, and as it comes back down, you catch it in the palm of your hand, your arm struggling with all the might that you have, and then you drop it into the sand, and you beat your chest with a cry, and the Minotaur cheers for you as well, and bravo, bravo, you hear from the platform. And as you do this, you look up and you see the wizard that was holding it down magically. He loses all his power to hold it down and actually gets knocked back into a table and one of the pieces, and then into one of the pieces of sofa, and you're directed to stand with the others. So it's you three and the
Taz takes a
Minotaur.
Taz takes a bodybuilder pose.
Menacing appears. And then, in fact, won't you have our other friend roll? Let's see. I want you to roll for... I think I mentioned someone that... Yes, a half orc. I'm going to have you do it since you're the last person. Just roll a d20. No, there's a half orc.
Oh.
That I forgot to roll for. I'll just say roll a d20 plus 5 is athletics. You can roll it for me.
I can roll it? All right.
Yeah. I'll just say since you're the last person up, you might as well. I forgot about him.
Oops. Damn.
He's able to manage it. And about 60% of the contestants are out, but you see this half-orc join you, and then shortly after, you see, with surprise and
I think he lagged out.
And he joins you. Oh.
Did you guys hear him? Or?
So the half-orc joins you, and then you see an elven person actually lifted over his head. He joins you as well, and about 60% of the contestants are rolled out, but it's you few people there. And shortly after, something else is placed. This time, it's in fact an almost twice as large object, but this time it's triangular. It's got these sharp, jagged edges, and the announcer says, "Oh, be careful. Lift this you must, and hold it high above your head, but take care that it doesn't slip or cut your palms. From among you, choose the first up winners."
Taz saunters on up.
Oh, I would like it to be known that I am injuring myself to make sure my rage lasts as long as it can.
Okay, you're just punching yourself in your face.
Come on, 1 point of damage, 1 point of damage, 1 point of damage.
Hype.
Right, I don't get hype, I stay hype.
I am the hype.
22.
Now, give me a Constitution save.
Ooh. 23.
It begins to slip and you hold it tight, so tight in fact that it begins to cut, the edges begin to cut into your palm, but you hold it there anyway. And then you go to slam it down and you stop, just to show the fact that you have enough strength to set it back down gently.
I look at Fang and then the half, the Minotaur, and go and just gesture to them.
I go up to the pyramid.
Just that noise.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, what the hell?
25.
You're able to do it. Now give me a con save.
Hold on, I need to double check rage.
It doesn't. It gives you advantage on dex saves for danger sense, but I don't think it gives you anything for con.
Saves, not con saves. Got it. Thankfully, my con is actually really good.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
You're able to more or less withstand it with as much endurance as Taz did. And you set it back down. Next, the Minotaur comes up. He's similarly able to lift it over his head.
You want to roll? You rolling for the
But
half
he
orc?
does. Yeah, I'll roll for him this time. But he doesn't seem to be able to withstand the edge as well, and he lets out this loud "ah!" But despite the fact that blood is beginning to pour, he manages to set it back down, and it seems like he'll definitely have a struggle with whatever the next challenge is, but for now, he's still in. The half orc is up.
Do, 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 do.
Darius, don't you have to go too?
And he's
do.
able to lift it up over his head, but you hear this horrible sound as it begins to slip, and it drops it, and he just gashes his palm wide open, and he falls and lets out this cry of pain and has to be escorted out. And you hear the announcer say, "Ooh, a violent show, but we have the best menders south of Neverwinter here. He'll heal, though his pride may not. Next."
Okay. I walk up and I crack my fingers, and as I crack my fingers, I cast.
No magic.
He
No,
didn't
he
say
said-
no magic. He didn't. He said I couldn't use enlarge or reduce again.
It was implied that you couldn't use magically. You can always try to stealth cast.
Yeah, why don't you roll that stealth boy? See if you can stealth.
Yeah,
cast.
you'll be penalized unless you try and stealth this.
Damn.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, you don't even really need to change your movements at all, and you're able to enhance your ability.
I use bull strength.
Oh, he didn't see shit. Taz didn't see shit.
Motherfucker, you.
And you see,
He's
surprisingly
eating
for
his
his
way
build,
through.
he seems really strong. He's able to lift it over his head. Now give me a con
Taz
save
narrows
if you
his
will.
eyes.
And you're able to withstand it perfectly, yeah. You set it back
What the
down,
hell?
hands off, and just smugly walk.
That fucking lasts for an
Dad
hour.
dead in his eye.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. He's going to cheat his way to the finals.
And you see the same elf from before. He struggles a bit and begins to bleed from his hands, but he's able to lift it and joins you all. The announcer says, for the final test, this one will be a bit different.
It's a fist fight, boys.
From among yourselves, choose a partner. Those, if the numbers are uneven, there are 5 of you. Our friendly fellow with the horns, and the Minotaur looks up. He says, "If you would be so kind, take this chain upon your neck." And you see these round objects, pretty much twice the size of the ball that you all lifted at first.
Oh, God.
There's 2 of them, and in between there's a chain. And the Minotaur laughs and takes these chains, kind of wraps them around each other, layers them over his neck. And he says, "Now, for volunteering, my friend, you will be seen as a champion. Your spot on the board is assured, but for the rest of you, choose one partner from among yourselves, and we will see which pair will be able to take these chains from the back of our friend. You'll be competing against each other, and time will be short."
I look over to Taz.
Taz nods.
I
You see
take the
this-
elf guy.
All right, and
I
you
start
all take your
biting my lip.
places.
Whatever I can do to keep that rage going.
And you all take your places opposite of each other, and there are like basically these two chain coming out from the wall, these two little ends where the chain links stop, and it's enough for you all to grab on firmly with both hands.
So it's just a tug of war. That's what this is.
It's basically a tug of war, but a minotaur is holding the chains down while you're doing it.
Ah,
And there are heavy balls on the other end.
He's got heavy balls. Oh my.
I've got big balls. Oh, I've got big
In
balls.
other words, it's going to be some real athletic.
I mean,
things.
everybody's just lucky that radio concealment doesn't work like it used to work.
Yeah. Straight cheating your way to championship spot.
It's amazing.
Hey, it's not against
I-
the rules if I don't get caught.
I'm not even mad. It's just so funny.
He just over there.
The announcer raises his hand and then he lowers his arm and says, "Begin," and falls back. And I want everybody to start off with some athletics.
I feel great. I cannot do this. Fuck.
And it
So
seems
basically, me and Finger pulling like fucking sissies.
pretty much the elf doesn't seem to be doing much better than you at first. And then you see him mimic what Fang is doing, and he bites his lip so hard, in fact, that some blood begins to pour down.
Did
and
this elf
droplet
just
from his
become a
lip.
barbarian?
And he lets out this cry and begins pulling even harder.
Holy shit, this elf just became a barbarian.
He did.
I inspired a
seems-
person.
And it seems for now that you have the upper hand, you and your team, Darius. Please, Taz, Fang.
I disconnected there for a second. What happened?
The elf is a barbarian, and he's pulling that shit hard as fuck.
Oh
Hard
God!
as fuck, boy.
So we're rolling again. Kenji.
Snake.
Snake. Snake.
Dun, dun, dun. Ironically, his picture is Snake, or it looks like Snake.
What his
Oh,
picture
he's
for
Big Boss.
the Scuddy?
Oh, he disconnected.
Oh, well, look what you did, Rave. Fang, Mark, whatever you want to call yourself.
Okay, sorry, I lagged there for a minute, missed it. Anyway, strength saves from the from Taz and Fang is what I was needing.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
snap.
get advantage on those.
And I think you still have advantage right, Darius, because that lasts an hour.
Yup.
Much better, much better.
Taz, you get pulled forward a bit and you begin to lose ground. Your feet are digging into the sand hard. Fang, you're able to keep your footing.
Shit.
Are we
you don't
losing
need
to an elf?
You don't need a strength save right now, Darius. You're good. Another bout of
okay.
athletics, please.
We're losing to an elf, guys. We need to get together.
Okay, 15 from
15.
Darius.
Oof, 17.
25. Oh, wait, how long has this been going on?
It's only been like a minute at this point.
I have to burn another rage then. It'll only last a minute.
All right.
I want to keep it fair and manage my shit.
It's pretty fair. Or it's pretty much the same at first, then it goes neck and neck, and then this time, Taz, you're able to recover your foot, and then you and Fang gain the upper hand. Please, Darius, strength save, please.
Oof.
Oh my god, you're so lucky you have advantage.
Oof.
You feel your foot slip out from under you, you go straight into the air, and then you just stomp it back down again. And by stomp it, I mean you move your finger just a bit, and it pulls your leg down back into the sand. And you slide forward pretty hard. The elf seems to come with you. And it's again neck and neck.
Oof.
Please, one last bout of athletics, and the Minotaur is just laughing this whole time, straining but laughing. and he's cheering both teams on equally. Says, "Come on, friends."
Oof. Oof.
You're killing me, man. Jesus
Oof.
Christ, what is wrong with you?
One more athletics.
One more athletics.
Mm-hmm.
By the power of Grayskull.
I swear to God, if he double nat ones.
Strength save, Darius, please.
Oof.
No.
My
The
character
elf-
is not built for
The
strength
elf is
save.
able to keep his footing, but for the most part, he's still getting pulled forward, and you just completely finally wipe out Darius. And as this happens, with one last final combined effort, Taz and Fang pull as hard as they can, and Fang bites his lip and lets out a roar. And you pull the chain and ball from over the Minotaur's shoulders, and he flexes as this happens and shows now that his neck is not being held down his full might. And the ball just slings forward like a giant flail and slams, making this huge shockwave and crater in the sand. And everyone stands and begins to cheer. Taz and Fang, you have won the contest of strength. Won 2 contests.
Was only to be expected.
I lift Fang up on my shoulders.
It was neck. You lift yourself up on your
You
shoulders.
are.
God damn it! What?
The thing is somehow floating in the air. He cheated!
God, I lift
Yeah,
Taz up on my
that's the power
shoulders.
play. That's the power play, Darius. Now you accuse them of cheating.
That is the power play.
And for making it that far, you're all awarded 100 gold, except for the Minotaur, who receives 200, and Taz and Fang, you receive 200, and additionally,
Wait, 200 additional?
200 gold. Yes, additionally, and additionally on top of that, as this elf makes this humble gesture of a bow, kind of bows low. He turns and silently makes his way to the bleachers, and the Minotaur begins to pocket his gold, and he just seems to be reveling in the glory right now. But additionally, Tez, Fang, the Minotaur, you're all called up and informed that unless you wish to make any particular changes or requests, there's going to be a Pillarman-esque statue of you 3 erected right on the spot.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Over the next year.
Jojo the fuck out of this.
Yes.
And if
I'm
you
wearing
only
my
have-
fish mask.
And if you could only have a moment of your time, yes, and if you could only have a moment of your time before you leave Baldur's Gate, you would like to have one evening where you all come together for a portrait or two, so that he'll have a reference as the work begins by sculptors over the next few months.
Taz is flexing so hard the shirt and the bow tie fly off.
I'm pillarmanning the fuck out of this with the mask just off of my face.
Yeah, the Minotaur's, he's got one arm around him, the other hand in front of his face. And you all strike a perfect pose. And at that moment, everyone cheers.
Taz's
A couple
back is
women
bent in
faint.
an ungodly angle.
Yes, and a couple women faint. Men are cheering. You see people suddenly inspired. They start looking for anything they can lift. It's amazing. And Darius, you notice a couple people up in the crowd are pointing at you and laughing, and they seem to be other folk, kind of dressed like you. They seem to maybe have
Caught on.
caught on, and they seem to approve. And on the way out, you get treated to a few coins yourself, and you collect about an extra from patronage from the other pirates of the area.
I thought about being a bad sport when they started laughing, but the 50 coins makes me very happy.
I was
love this
halfway
town.
expecting you to send like lightning or something through the chain to fuck with us.
Bruh, I
that's
thought
obvious.
about it, but I don't use lightning. I could have used chaos bolt, but then they'd have seen the bolt of chaos.
Where'd it come from? I didn't send it. And the Minotaur comes up and says, "Friends, if you ever have need of me, only call. I owe you this one favor. I'll participate in a battle or once again show my strength however needed."
Do we have a summon now? Is that what this is?
We have a
Something-
favor
Yes,
can
we are
cash
now in Kingdom Hearts. All you have to do is put the chain on your neck, and the Minotaur shall appear.
And what may
Yes.
we call you?
He grins and says,
They call me Big Papa Smooth Time.
"Big Hurt."
Oh God.
Big Herc.
They call me Mr.
Der
Pig.
Pig.
Ah!
Yeah, Taz holds his hand out to Big Herc.
He takes it and does the shake, and then he pulls you into him.
No, I
Yeah.
refuse. You have to do the Hercules, the He-Man fucking grab
You're right.
handshake,
To my forearm to forearm.
forearm to forearm.
That's what happens
Beastmaster.
right there, and it's perfectly captured moment. The sun's shining just perfectly on it.
Muscles rippling.
Mm-hmm. With that, he takes his leave, and this area begins to calm down. Still left there in the bleachers is that elf from earlier.
So the elf starts clapping.
The elf does start clapping.
The elf that lost?
Narrowly.
The elf that awoken as a barbarian?
Mm-hmm. And, Taz, why don't you take the show on the road from here?
Yep. That was very well done. I didn't think I'd be beaten. Even if my partner was a bit of a
Wait, what's happening here?
Taz is switching characters.
Motherfucker!
Bitch,
Fang
nigga.
just became your best friend!
The elf jumps down for the bleachers. Just kind of walks over to you. Over to you. Aaron Ballard, friend of Taz, and I'm assuming your new traveling companion.
Wait, it's really hard to tell with your accent. Is this a guy or a girl?
It's a dude.
Okay.
He holds his hand out to you.
I shake it very confusingly. Traveling
Taz, did you-
companion?
Oh, Taz, you didn't tell them. Getting to the end of my life cycle. Life. Too old for this.
But Taz,
I wanna go-
we're champions twice over in the same day. This has literally been one of the best days of my life.
Yes, it was one of the better days of my life as well. But there will be other days for you. Me, not so much. Honestly, when I helped overthrow the king, that was supposed to be my retiring party. Supposed to be the last thing I was supposed to do. Then things went south again. So I called Aaron here.
Of course we did.
So-
We're in Baldur's Gate. I wink to the
You know,
camera.
Aaron like tilts his head over to where you're looking. He just goes, looks back to you, looks back where you're looking, goes, "What are you looking at?"
He's just
Anyway,
holding
Taz,
the
go.
wink.
Taz just goes, "Yeah. Honestly, that was supposed to be the end of it for me. But I heard, the elves were in trouble, and new tie-in would probably be in the middle of it. So I got back into it. But my smith needs attending, and I'm getting too old to fight. So I called Aaron here. Met him on a mercenary mission. Good fighter. A little odd, but he's not from around here. Aaron smiles at Fang. You're stronger than I thought. Interesting.
I was gonna say I'm still winking at the camera, but I'm not. Yes, well, I look over to Taz. It was a privilege, and if you ever want something special as a last meal, feel free to call.
I'm still gonna be around, not that dead yet, just getting too old for fighting.
Yeah, well, that's how you made it sound.
In fact, I'll probably be going back to Waterdeep. Probably move my smithing out there. If you need me to send letters, I'll help do things while you're not around.
Wait, what about your bracers?
Oh, those were for him. Aaron waves at you.
And also adding the... oh wait, no, that's what the bracers were for. Never mind. I was confused.
Taz looks at Darius. I don't really know you.
I prefer it that way.
You seem like decent people, so try not to get these guys killed. Aaron, control yourself. I'll try. Taz looks you all over, nods, and goes ahead and exits the stadium.
Just as you go to do that, Taz, you feel a hand on your shoulder. And you hear an old gruff voice. And he says, I hate to interrupt your tearful goodbye, but how about having a last drink, you and all the others, with another old retiring man? And as you turn, you see the familiar face of Commander Barthen, the man who assisted you.
Oh, Dip.
In the siege of Neverwinter all those years ago. And he has a smile on his face, a few extra scars, but says, I was meaning to find you, but the letters didn't go very far north. I'm glad to see you're here.
Yeah, one last drink.
One last drink. Come. And, he says it'll be taking place shortly. Within an hour at the Broken Boar Brewery, you know it?
Look at Fang. Yeah, I know it.
In that
case, they have a great cook.
I've heard. Well, in that case, I'll see you there. Please, don't get yourself killed on the way. Baldur's Gate is the safest city nowadays, but there's still plenty of danger. And, that he takes his leave. And if there's any other business you all would like to get done beforehand, any visits you need to make, the festival's still going on. It just kind of swapped. It's winding down a bit now. It's more taking place at the market right now. So if there's any extra business you all want to get done, you can go ahead and do that, and we'll get ready to wrap it up, because I'd like to have everyone here for the next part.
Yep. I'm assuming, yeah, we're doing the thing with with Verilius after the festival.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a random bit I can do
Okay.
if no one else has anything.
Is it to challenge my new guy to a fight? Because I don't think you want that.
No, it's not. It actually has to do with my character's backstory.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All
Don't
right.
want no smoke.
Well, Fang's gonna try to find his way back to where the wizards were all hanging out for coffee, and see if he can ask one of them if they know of a way to try to find someone who is lost.
They one that younger man who you saw earlier is still there, and he fetches his master and his mentor, and they come back, and his mentor says he's quite skilled in divination magic, and he asks you what exactly you mean by lost.
One day they just disappeared. No hide, no hair, nor trace of where they were, what happened, or where they were going.
They fell into the ocean and formed into ice. That's what happened.
You have any of their possessions, perhaps a place, a person, a thing that they were strongly associated with?
Well, I was strongly associated with them.
I see. Familial relation?
No.
Well, perhaps after the festival, visit me. And he tells you where he kind of writes it on the map, and it's a pretty high-end tavern, or an inn, essentially, rather. But for now, sit, tell me a bit more about what it is so that I can prepare for your arrival. This is a person like yourself, yes?
Yes.
And do they happen to be proficient with any magics?
Okay, out of character, it's going to be easier for me to explain this. I'm going for the lover in my character's backstory who disappeared. I don't know. We never talked about
I understand.
them.
Yep.
We didn't dish
in this
that
case,
out.
In this case, I'll just allow you to make the decision on the spot.
Okay. Yes, she could do magic. To what extent or what variety, I could not tell you.
Let's see, was it learned or of a bloodline?
I believe she was born with it.
And had she made any pact with anyone, deity or otherwise?
I believe so, but I do not know with who or what.
I see. Well, that adds an unexpected level of complexity, but the fact that you've told me makes it easier to prepare. He seems to go into a deep thought. He looks at his apprentice and kind of leans over and quietly asks him something, and the apprentice scurries off, and he says, well, continue to sit with me a moment. Give me a few more details, appearance, and the like, and then I'll take my leave and begin my preparations. And unless there's anything super specific you want to hash out right now, then I'll just say that the time passes and we can do this over Discord maybe.
Yeah,
later,
we can do this over
you can
Discord
decide.
later.
Yeah, but that's how it plays out. I'm going to say you probably spend a good 15 minutes or something there at least discussing. All right. Anything else going on?
Taz is just kind of. Do we have a bag of holding?
No, I think you
No?
know. Oh wait, no, you do. You do. That's right, because you got one from the ruins.
Yes. So Taz hands the bag of holding to and some of his stuff to Aaron, and Aaron's just kind of just has this weird look, this content smile on his face.
Okay.
He's just kind of just talking to him if anyone wants to say anything to them. Essentially, Taz is going to become like the middleman for you guys. If you need anything done while you're out adventuring, he'll probably get it done. He's a non-combatant now, though.
Conscientious objector. Yep. So, and if there's nothing else, we can wrap it up next time.
Ooh, can I say I made Taz a like big farewell meal?
Oh yeah, you can even prepare it for the little retirement party thing if you want.
Sure.
Cool. And then next time we'll deal with that, and we'll get into some action. Hopefully everybody will be here.
Gotcha.
Some action.